Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh news update. And yes, I am back. I was gone for a little bit. It's been about 3 weeks, I guess. I was traveling halfway around the country doing some Comic-Cons, getting out there, working a booth, getting to meet a lot of people. It's kind of cool, so I enjoy that. But the Wi-Fi in the hotel most of the time sucks balls, so I didn't get to do a lot of recording. I didn't get to do a lot of uploading. And then I came back, little family stuff going on, and here I am again. So I wanted to talk about the stuff that I missed while I was gone. Mostly, and the Star Wars stuff. I have to talk about it. Yes, it's old news by now, but there was some figure arts, so there's some Black Series, there's some model kit stuff going on, so I'm going to talk about that real quick. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to jump into the figure art stuff. Yes, the Black Series stuff comes out on Force Friday. That's September 30th this year, but man, figure arts. I'm going to talk about the figure arts and then intercede with some Black Series news as we go along. First of all, from Rogue One coming out in December, we have K2SO. I'm warming up to this droid a lot, even though we don't know a lot about him. The few scenes that I've seen him in, he's just enough of an asshole to make me like him, especially in the Star Wars universe, being a droid. Yes, sometimes R2 is kind of a butthole, but to see a droid just flat out just being a dick, I'm good with that. So this droid intrigues me. I like the figure, I like the look of it, I like the attitude of it. It's Alan Tudyk. What's there not to love? So I'm definitely get this figure, even though there is a Black Series version coming out. Figure art's a little smaller scale, but I feel like it'll be more durable and better articulated than the Black Series version. But knowing me, I'll end up with the Black Series K2SO and then get the figure arts version. I can't help it. Also coming out in December this year from Figure Arts, the Death Trooper. This is a weird one. I like the Death Trooper design, but it being the main focus figure-wise, we have quite a few options here, like the First Order Stormtrooper last year. The Death Trooper, we have figure arts, we have the Black Series, and we have a model kit coming. Now, I prefer the model kits. They're better size, they're nicely articulated, they're fun to build, and most of the time they have sharper detail. The Black Series, that's for army building. That'll be standing behind my model kit. Plus with the model kit you get different versions. Apparently, there is a different chest piece completely that has a pauldron, extra pouch over the shoulder, extra pouches around the waist, straps, something strapped to the front. They call this the Death Trooper Specialist. So actually with the model kit you're getting two different versions of the same figure, and we haven't seen a figure from any other company of the Specialist. So I'll be getting a couple of model kits, leaving one as a specialist, and then getting some Black Series troopers to flank them if I get any more than that. The figure arts, I can skip. The troopers, they're usually a little bit smaller, less articulated for the most part. Don't get me wrong, I love figure arts, but mostly for their human characters. And then finally coming out in December from Bandai Figure Arts line is the standard Stormtrooper. Now, from what I understand, Rogue One happens just before A New Hope, so the Stormtroopers should be the same. But here, it almost looks like the helmet is different from the first release. It looks a little bit better, I think, but man, I don't know, the chest piece looks really small. It's out of proportion, kind of. Plus, since we've had the Stormtroopers for a while, even though I don't personally have one, I've seen pictures of them, the troopers compared to your other 6-inch figures are a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter, so I'm good with staying with Black Series and especially the model kits. The model kits are beautiful. And then for figure arts, the January releases, there is something called a Scarif Stormtrooper. It's kind of like a biker scout, but different. It's kind of like it, but different. It's exactly the same, but different. But I like the colors, the alternating colors on the shoulder. There's red on one side, blue on the other, some white stripes. It kind of throws a different feel into the Star Wars universe. I love different kinds of troopers. Them adding more is just, more money out of my wallet. But there's also a Black Series version of this figure coming. More than likely, the Black Series figure will come out first, and more than likely, trooper-wise, I probably like the Black Series, and I'll skip on the figure arts. That's blasphemy, but like the Death Trooper, if I can get a cheaper version, especially with this many figures coming out all at the same time, I'm going to try to cut the fat where I can. Which, with the next release in January, the hover tank driver, that doesn't have a Black Series version coming out as far as we know, unless they're going to surprise us with a hover tank in 6-inch scale. I doubt it though. But this being a unique figure that I've only seen in the figure arts line, I'll more than likely get this. But it's just one figure for January, so that works out. Little, cost-saving measure there. Then we get into February for figure arts. Kylo Ren. I I feel like we already have this figure. I feel like it already pissed me off once, but that was mostly for the hood. This figure doesn't come with the hood. It comes with the unmasked head. Like I said, humans in the Figuarts line, I have to grab. Even though we now have this figure in the Black Series, and we have it in the MAFEX line coming with the cloth robe, which looks great, Figuarts heads are awesome, so I'm gonna have to give this a try, even though it is a Soul Web exclusive. It'd be a little bit harder to get, be a little bit more expensive, but it looks to be worth it. Now, I've seen people comment that it comes with the masked head you can switch out. It took me a minute, but in this picture you can see that the hand is attached to the helmet. So apparently he can only hold it in his hand. And then it comes with the Darth Vader mask that's all melted and gooey. This looks almost just as good as the Black Series. I am completely happy with the Black Series version, but to get the Figuarts head, I'm going to have to spend this much money. And the next figure from Figuarts comes out in February also, and that is Han Solo. Finally, it's one of the first figures we saw of the line way back with A New Hope Luke. A New Hope Luke came out last month. To finally get Han, oh, he's so awesome. So great. I can replace the Black Series version. Even though it wasn't really a bad figure, you just can't compare Figuarts and Black Series. Quality-wise, look-wise, and especially price-wise. The price you're paying for Figuarts, you would expect it to be greater quality than the Black Series that you get for $20 at your local retail store. We definitely need Chewbacca, though. The Figuarts Chewbacca, from what we've seen, looks good. Now that we have Han, it's got to go with him. Now, since Kylo Ren's pre-order goes up at the end of this month, September, and he comes out in February of next year, I can only assume that Han Solo's pre-order goes up at the end of this month also. I mean, the timeline fits. But at the same time, we haven't seen the pre-orders for the figures that come out in December or January. So there may be some massive wallet-killing pre-order season that's almost upon us. I'm guessing it's going to be around Force Friday sometime. Again, September 30th. Now, Black Series news, the series coming out, Captain Cassian Andor in what looks like a snow uniform, Hoth-looking costume. We have the Death Trooper, we have the unmasked Kylo that some people already have, but it's cool that it gets it out there in general release. We have the Rey that we've already seen, but she comes with the lightsaber. That may be cool for some people. I already have like 3 versions of this, so I'm passing on that one. Jyn, I got at Comic-Con. Again, some people have it. And then, of course, K2SO. I'm on the fence. I'm going to end up with it, more than likely, but I think it'll just be a placeholder until the Figuarts comes out. And then as far as other figures, there's what looks to be a 2-pack of Cassian and Jyn, but nobody wants to army build Jyn, so I'm hoping this pack comes with a Death Trooper. I don't know. I'm just getting back. I'm just seeing these pictures. I'm hoping, but who knows? And then Director Krennic. This is a cool looking figure. I can't wait for this to come out. We need a good, clean 6-inch Imperial officer uniform. And this is it. This could be changed up for Tarkin. We can get a Thrawn out of it. Kate works for Dooku. There's a lot of customizing potential here. And if he's easy to find, I'll be buying like 2 or 3 to just be sitting and waiting until I do some customizing in 2023, whenever that comes around. And then one last thing worth mentioning, the MAFEX. I'm kind of down on MAFEX right now. I'm still waiting for their Boba Fett to come out whenever the hell that happens. I think it's already 2 months behind now. Hopefully they're fixing some quality control issues because their C-3PO sucked, and that's kind of why I'm not caring a lot about MAFEX right now. Not to even mention the MAFEX Superman from Batman vs. Superman. But their first Vader was good, so another release of Vader could be worth it, especially if you're a fan of Revenge of the Sith. If not, it's not really that much different. The over-the-shoulder piece is what's really different, and then, of course, the baked head under the helmet. But as much as I'm down on MAFEX, this Rey, I'm gonna have to get it. It seems like Figuarts isn't gonna do a Rey unless they wait for Episode 9, and that's a year from now. I still need a good Episode 8 Rey, and this seems to be it. You have the regular head, you have her masked head, even the gloves. There's several different sets of hands. It comes with her staff. It comes with the lightsaber. It looks a little bit large. It comes with the pistol that the Hasbro figure didn't come with. It comes with the fighter pilot helmet, backpack. It just looks great. So this is going on the pre-order list. I know I'm a hypocrite for saying that after saying, no more MAFEX. I'm sick of MAFEX. It falls apart. I've got to give them a try, especially for a figure like this. But to balance it out, I may be canceling my pre-order for the Kylo Ren because with Figuarts coming out, having a Black Series version, what can you do? Same with Captain Phasma and maybe C-3PO and BB-8. I already have good versions of those, model kits. I don't know. Especially with the first C-3PO falling apart like it is, why do I want another one just to get BB-8? But we'll see. A lot of cool Star Wars stuff coming. But for Figuarts to announce 6 figures at the same time is insane. I know we were asking for Bandai to ramp up the schedule, but then when it finally happens, I've got to work extra shifts, or I've got to find some way to make money, I've got to rob a bank, something. 6 at the same time, even though it's spread out over 3 months. It's still kind of crazy. I've got a backlog of stuff to review. I don't know if I'll be able to catch up with all of it, but more than likely this week will be the SolWeb exclusive Bandai Figuarts Heavy Gunner Stormtrooper, and I did get the model kit for the Battle Droid and Stap. So if you like this overextended me raving and griping about Star Wars at the same time, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.